Hey guys, how you doing? jpsarrireviews here, and I hope you're having a fantastic day, a start of a new month, December. We just came out of Thanksgiving, and I hope you'll have also a terrific time with your families, those who celebrate it in the United States. It was really a terrific time. It's always is my favorite, actually, holiday of the year, right next to Christmas. But of course, now that we start in December, there's a lot of stuff going on in the world of comics, and this month, particularly this month, there's going to be a lot of releases for comic book collectors, hardcover collections, softcover collections. So in this video today, as I did previously in the past 2 months, I want to share with you my top 10 collected editions, hardcover collected editions. So I go through the whole list of releases, and I pretty much dissect the good from the bad, and I give you what I consider the best for your collection. So in the next couple of minutes, stay tuned. All right, but before we get into the list, I gotta let you know that there were 2 books that were supposed to come out last month. Didn't make it, but they're coming out this month according to the list. Harbinger Wars 2 Deluxe Edition has been pushed back, I think, since October until now. It's been every month they saying it's coming out. Hopefully it happens this month if you're interested on that book. It's coming out according to this on December 8th. Annihilation Omnibus, the last restock was supposed to come out last month, but it's now coming out on the 15th of this month, so keep an eye on those if you're interested. But the first on the list is The Eternals, the complete saga omnibus, that is coming out on the 1st of December. So it's coming out pretty much now, this week. Now, this is a collection, in my opinion, that I consider a must-have if you really love Jack Kirby stuff. And if you're really into the upcoming film that it's, according to this, unless they change the date, it's coming out next year. Definitely it will be a great intro to this fantastic world of the Eternals. Jack Kirby created this after he left DC, and of course his project with the New Gods over there. He came and he continued some of that in a new universe, pretty much is very similar to that universe. And this omnibus collects everything that he did in the 70s, plus the collection of the run that was in the 80s and everything in between. So you're going to enjoy this. It's coming out again on the 1st. There's 2, as you can see, 2 different versions. You got the regular, which is the Ross art, which I really like, but also you can get the curvy covers. So the option is there is $74.99. So keep an eye on that. Number 2, Nightwing, the Prince of Gotham omnibus. And it's coming out also on the 1st of this month, so this week. I'm a big fan of Nightwing, and I have mentioned here before that I'm not a big fan of the New 52. There were a couple of things in the New 52 that were good, and I would say Nightwing was kind of middle of the road. I'm a big fan of the character. I've been following Nightwing since the 90s, so to me, since pretty much its solo run, and I really enjoy the character. This is kind of the same take. It kind of what I like about this run in the New 52 with Nightwing is that it was a reboot of the character. It kind of continued the same as they did with Batman with previous stories, and it really goes deep into it. There's really good art there. Some art is not so good. But if you're a fan of Nightwing from the New 52, I think this is a must. It collects everything. If you already have the Batman by Snyder and Capullo's omnibus, I think this is another must-have because it's a companion to it. So yeah, in my opinion, it's great. There's a lot of writers involved in it. When there's many writers, I'm not too crazy about that. But there's a lot of good art and there's some good stories there. So yeah, I recommend it. Number 3, Books of Magic Omnibus, Volume 1. Now, if you're a big fan of the Sandman, this is definitely a must because this is technically the sequel to the Sandman. Now, Neil Gaiman has been writing after the Sandman success, many miniseries, many different storylines, and definitely the universe is really vast. So what DC is doing right now, it's pretty much including a lot of this collection's mini-series into one, and of course they can probably create up to 2 more volumes for a total of 3 volumes because there's a lot of stories there. The Books of Magic is definitely a great sequel to it, and now it's all included into one collection for the first time. I think it is a must-have. Definitely it's great art, great stories. The price is $97.49. It's coming out on December 8th, so it is included on this list. Number 4, Deadman Omnibus. Now, this is another one that a lot of people are excited for. Previously, we had the Deadman Absolute, and that sold out a long time ago. It was one of the first Absolutes that came out. And now everything included into an omnibus, so a lot of people are really excited for it. Now, if you go back to the late 60s into the 70s, Deadman was a character that really defied a lot of the traditions of, superhero stories, because he was definitely a superhero, also kind of horror, mystic story. And you have great writers from that time. You had Arnold Drake, Bob Haney, Jack Miller, Neil Adams, Danny O'Neill, Jerry Conway, Len Wein, Paul Levitz, and many others. But you have the art. The main artist here is, of course, Neil Adams, Jose Luis Garcia Lopez, Jim Aparo, Carmine Infantino, George Tosca, Kit Giffen, Mike Grell, and many others. So this is a collection of that, and definitely it is a must. Just the art alone is terrific, and of course the stories are great for the era. This is coming out on December 8th, so it is included on this list. Number 5, New Mutants Omnibus Volume 1. Now, there are two different covers. You got the variant cover, the McCloud cover. This is a classic cover. And then you have the newest, the other one by Sienkiewicz, also based in another cover. The New Mutants movie came out. I don't think it's a bad movie. I review it in this channel. The writers, you got Chris Claremont, you got Louis Simonson, Bill Mantlo, and the artists, of course, Bob McCloud, Sal Buscema, Sienkiewicz, Leo Loa, Frank Miller, Brent Blevins, Ron Franz, Brent Anderson, Paul Smith, John Romita Jr., and John Buscema. So you have great art, great talent. I would say that the New Mutants is one of those that kind of started really strong, and they kind of fade a little bit until you had Rob Liefeld in the end, and a lot of people love what he did. But definitely at the beginning, there was a lot of horror elements into it. And it was very mature, being the case that it was just a bunch of teenagers. It was kind of going back to the roots of the X-Men. So it is a recommendation, and definitely one that I know a lot of people are going to jump on right away. Number 6, Injustice Gods Among Us Omnibus Volume 2. Now, I would tell you this. I wouldn't say that I'm a crazy fan of the comic book stories for Injustice. But definitely the series as a whole, I'm a big fan. First, I'm a big fan of the video game. I love the whole series. But it was very successful in comics, and it's a totally separate universe in comparison to pretty much the ongoing series. So it is interesting. If you have played the video game, definitely you understand what Injustice is all about. And it was very successful, and Volume 1 really did well. A lot of people love Volume 1, and of course this is the continuation. So if you already have Volume 1, then definitely this is the second part of it, and you need to have it in your collection. Writers, you have Brian Buccellato, you have Christopher Sabella, Tom Taylor. The artists, you got Bruno Redondo, Juan Albarrán, Tom Duranic, Sir Manico, Sergio Sandoval, Ivan Coelho, Marco Santucci, Pup Man, Daniel Sampier, Jeremy Rapak, Miguel Mendonca. So you have a lot of artists that many of them I do not know. I haven't really finished reading this series, so I cannot really say. But because the fact that this is the continuation of a previous omnibus that has done so well, I decided to include it on this list. This one is coming out on December 15. The price right now is $81.25. Number 7, Infinity Crusade Omnibus. Now, this one is a highly anticipated book. It was supposed to come out, I think, back in October, but it was pushed until December. It's coming out at the end of the year. It is a great book. I would say that it's not the best in the whole saga, because of course, you got the Infinity Gauntlet, the Infinity War, and then the Infinity Crusade. It's not the best, but if you really want to have the whole initial saga, then you have to have this one in your collection. And of course, you have the writers Jim Starlin, Ron Mars, Lenny Kaminsky, Roy Thomas, Danny Fingerroth, Marcus McLaurin, Simon Furman, Terry Cavanagh, Gregory Wright, and more. And the artists, you got Ron Lim, Tom Rainey, Chris Renkewitz, Angel Medina, Tom Grindberg, Bruce Sick, Kevin Hopwood, and so many more that I'm just not gonna go through the whole list. There's a lot of artists here. Now, there's two covers. You have the regular cover, the Lim cover, which in my opinion, it's the best because it's the first issue. It's based on that, and also the first volume, if you collect that on the soft covers. Now, the second one, it's a pretty much a cover with Spider-Man and also with Moon Knight. And I like that cover. It's fun, but when I think about the Infinity Crusade, I don't think about it. So unless you want to always have the different kind, the special edition, then go for it. But I would say just the regular cover is perfect. Again, it's coming out December 29. It is priced, if you buy directly from the direct market right now, it's $74.99. Of course, it will go up in price if you purchase through other routes. Number 8, Phantom Complete Dailies, Volume 1, between 1936 and 1937. This is the third release of this book. And I'm telling you this, I'm a big fan of the Phantom. I grew up reading the classic comics. My father was a big fan of the Phantom, so I read the classic ones. These are the dailies, of course, the newspaper strips and all that. So it's a collection, and I love what Hermes Press is doing. They've been releasing a lot of these classic books from the golden age, and I really love this. This was out of print for a while. When they come out, they sell pretty quickly. They don't release many, so they do well. The price is fair, $48.75. I like the price. I would say go for it and really enjoy those classic comics. Of course, this is not for, for the people that only love modern stuff. If you love classic stuff, going back in time, going back to that era with, you used to read those comics in newspapers. So I really love it. I highly recommend it. Number 9, X-Men by Chris Claremont and Jim Lee, Omnibus, Volume 1. Now, this is one that over the years, I reviewed this, I would say, 4 or 5 years ago. And up to this day, a lot of people were excited, looking forward to a reprint for this. And finally, all the prayers, all the, the hopes, everything had an answer, and it's happening at the end of this year. So if you miss on this book initially, then this is your chance. And I'm telling you, it's going to be tough to even find that. It's going to sell quickly. I have that feeling in my heart. I would say that a lot of people even love the stories of this book more than Volume 2. I love the art of Volume 2. I think it was when everything kind of exploded with the, in this case, with the X-Men solo run with Jim Lee. But in my opinion, this is fantastic. This includes everything that has happened with the Uncanny X-Men and other runs, everything combining to it. And it's very good as the introduction to Jim Lee into the stories. I love it. You have Chris Claremont, Terry Austin, Sully Pashko, Peter Sanderson, Ann Nunzetti, and of course the artists. You got Jim Lee, Mark Silvestri, Rob Liefeld, Mike Busberg, Gene Fern, Mark Bagley, Rick Leonardi, and so on and so on. So you have so many great people. Don't forget Whilce Portacio. So in my opinion, if you miss your chance, this is your chance. So don't forget, on December 29, you need to add this to your collection. And finally, number 10, X-Men, Uncanny X-Men, Omnibus, Volume 3. You already have Volume 1 and Volume 2. This was out of print for a little bit. So now it's coming out, and I'm telling you, you need to get it. There's a Volume 4 coming out next year. But in my opinion, the first 3 volumes are the best. Particularly Volume 2 that I even try. I'm telling you, honestly, I tried to get this time, but it sold out so quickly I didn't even get a chance to get it. But I'm waiting for that to come out through other routes, and I'm get it. Hopefully there's more re-releases as they do right now, because it's going crazy. Right now the world is crazy with comics. People are buying stuff online like crazy, like never before. I've never seen this before. So everything sells out quickly. So this one, alongside the Jim Lee X-Men, is going to do well. So I would say jump on it. The price is good, $74.99. There's 2 different covers. You get the classic cover, the Smith cover, or you also get pretty much the new version. I would say I love the new version. Either or, they're fantastic. And this is a great story. Of course, the writer is Chris Claremont. Artists, you got Dave Cockrum, Paul Smith, Frank Miller, Ren Anderson, Vincent Kiewicz, Walter Simonson, John Romita Jr., Michael Golden, Brett Blevins, John Buscema, Ron Frenz, and Sal Buscema. So you have an array of fantastic art and fantastic stories. So yeah, I do recommend it. All right, but before I go, I want to share with you honorable mentions. So collections that also didn't include on this list, but definitely they were up there. You have the G.I. Joe Complete Collection Volume 9. This is, of course, the writer Larry Hama. The art is by Herb Trimble and many other artists. And this is the original run. That was published originally, of course, by Marvel Comics, but it's been now published by IDW. This is Volume 9, so they continued that tradition. I think IDW has done fantastic with G.I. Joe. Also, the Master Wars Ghost Rider Volume 2. This is a really anticipated book for a lot of people. The original story, the original run, the writer Tony Savella, Gary Friedrich, Bill Mantlo, Mark Wolfman, Steve Gerber. Definitely a great addition to the Masterworks line. And there's two different versions. You got the more classic, the direct version, and of course the regular. Either or, they're fantastic. We're also getting the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Ultimate Collection Volume 7. This is coming out December 15, $34.99. I love what IDW has done with the Kevin Eastman and Peter Layer's collection. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are fantastic in this format. I review only the Volume 1, but this continues on. There were so many stories that were created under Mirage Studios. So yeah, you need to consider this also. On December 22, Iron Man, Tony Stark Iron Man by Dan Slott Omnibus is coming out. There's two different covers. You got the Direct Market Ross cover. I really love that cover. I think it is a must. Then you got the Granoff cover. Again, I think Ross is better. But, you know, not saying that Granoff doesn't create great art. I just prefer the cover. And this is another one. This is, of course, from the more modern version. I wouldn't say that I'm crazy about Dan Slott's writing. Of course, he had a lengthy run with Spider-Man. And definitely he did good with Iron Man. But not to the point that I say, wow, I need to jump on it. But if you really love that writing, if you really love the stories, this is going to collect that. On December 22nd, we're getting a Marvel Cosmic Universe by Donny Cates, Omnibus Volume 1. I would say, honestly, that I'm not, I would say, too crazy about Donny Cates. I've seen some of the stuff he has done, and it is good. He's a good writer. There's some things that I like, things that I don't like. But he brings the modern vibe to things, and I think there's a lot of fans out there that really love his stuff. Also, he partners with a lot of great artists, modern artists. So you're going to see a lot of it in this collection, and I love that. Anything that has to do with the Marvel Cosmic Universe, I'm all for it. So there are two different versions. I loved actually the regular cover. I like it because, of course, you got Black Bolt, you have the Inhumans, and all the imagery, and you have Thanos. So I love that. The other one is pretty much the Silver Surfer. It's okay. I wouldn't say that I'm a fan, but I will go just for the regular. Also, this is coming out for those who are interested. Now, this list, of course, that I shared today with you, it's, I would say, no comprehensive. I'm not sharing with you everything that is coming out. There's a lot of stuff coming out. There's a lot of new things. You have a lot of Masterworks, like the Captain America Volume 12. There's so much that I cannot really include on this list. You also get the Invisible Man, Trailblazing Black Artist of comic book hardcovers. I'm interested on this book, so I'm telling you, there's a lot of great stuff. At the end of the day, it's a matter of choice. You choose whatever you like. I chose what I consider that you need to jump right away because it's going to be a lot of demand. And then, of course, the rest comes in second. But what is your opinion? What do you think about my list? Do you like what I'm sharing here? Do you think I'm missing something? Let me know what you think about this month in the comments below. So once again, my friends, thanks for watching. God bless, take care, and I'll talk to you again. Bye-bye.